Last one, true AI use cases in advice emerge. So probably just open that with Chat GPT. If you don't know what Chat GPT is, you've been living under a rock.
Or not on LinkedIn.
We've all had a play creating our, weird images and blog posts and blog articles. Look, I might start this one off because running a marketing agency that specialises in social media, it's a big topic around, is this going to replace, content creators? Reality is it's not. It is an awesome tool. It's not first cab off the rank. We've seen tools like this already. There's been lots around the place. This one's probably the first one that's gone a bit more mainstream. But I think it definitely brings out some great opportunities to use it in your business. So there's some enormous process ideas around it. There's some content creation ideas. There's some great research ideas, but you will still need some sort of human involved, in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So I think it's awesome, and I think it's a great opportunity, but there are still lots of caveats around how you use it. But yeah, it'd be great to see what everyone else is, how they're seeing it being used out in the industry.
It's pretty ubiquitous, isn't it? Like when you walk through offices and you start, looking around and people have got ChatGPT open as a tab in their browser, and it's not just in financial services, it's like in all professional services areas, disciplines. It just shows how, ubiquitous it becomes so quickly. I think that's really interesting. If you sort of look back at the history with OpenAI, like GPT-3 has been around since 2020. Like it's been around for a couple of years now, but until it was sort of given this sort of, nice and convenient sort of chat interface, it wasn't until then that, it became mainstream and it became, really easy for, common users to interact with. So I think, I think it absolutely has implications for us in the wealth space and the advice space. But I think it'll be interesting in the next 12 months to see how quickly it just gets embedded into things like Microsoft 365 and some of those services like that. And obviously Microsoft and OpenAI have got a very, strong relationship there, and there's a lot of investment going into that space there. I think we'll start seeing, digital AI assistants that just work their way into Word, Microsoft Word and Excel, even on the desktop and those sorts of things. So I think you'll have sort of advice-specific capability that gets deployed, and perhaps some of the incumbent providers in the advice space will start thinking about how they develop tools to actually sit within advice technology itself. But I think in the very short term, we're going to begin to see, desktop AI assistants and those sorts of things just ubiquitous to, productivity tools, which will be great. We'll get a lot of industry-specific, capability just from that alone before we sort of go to that next level, which is, how do we integrate that into actual advice processes and wealth technology itself. So it's exciting. It's one of those big platform shifts, right? You had web, you had mobile, and now we've got, an AI platform shift. So it's exciting times.
Yeah. I get equal parts excited and equal parts terrified about ChatGPT. I use it quite regularly, and probably the best way I can describe it is it's a really clever PA. You can ask questions, and it's sort of reasonably helpful in that way. But I think in terms of our industry, we work in an industry that requires human connection. Advisors are talking about deeply personal things with their clients: marriage, divorce, death, kids, purchasing houses, all those big milestones in life. And I don't necessarily think that, I think it could assist us in a small way and really make us more efficient, for sure. But I think that's probably the extent. I don't know. That's my optimistic brain working. And I think also, to your point, Aaron, seeing this embedded into what we're using every day is really interesting. We always talk, I think that we're all joking about the paperclip that used to be in Microsoft that used to jump up and help you with stuff. Clippy, that's right. Used to give you some tips of the day and how to use things. So, is it sort of, obviously not going to be clippy, but is it that what we're sort of looking to with how it's embedded into what we do, how to build Excel, lookups and all that sort of stuff. Everything. I think that's really exciting. But I think it costs something like 2 to 3 cents to send if you send a message and ask ChatGPT something, it costs 2 to 3 cents to manage those questions. So it's an expensive exercise for obviously Microsoft to have the funding to assist with all of this. But I don't think it's as straightforward as we think it's going to be. So again, it'll take some time, but don't think we're going to be replaced just yet.
No, I think
I might be wrong.
I think separating out ChatGPT and AI, ChatGPT, that's going to be interesting to watch because, if you use the analogy of your personal assistant, personal assistants have opinions, and something like ChatGPT is influenced by everyone's opinions. And so what you get out is not necessarily always going to be true or your truth or factual or whatever. It's based on researching a whole lot of conversations and information. But if we then look at AI and how that could be used within your business and some of your tools, well, then that starts to learn about your business and the interactions that you have.
Right.
And I think that's where the benefits really come. ChatGPT is a good example of how it can work, but the AI benefits are where they'll really come to play in a business where they can start to understand steps that you take in your business and processes. And, when you're using within your little bubble of your business, I think there's going to be some huge benefits to that over time.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, I think, I'm probably more on the bullish side. I think it will become a utility like the internet has really become in many respects. And AI is everywhere. AI tells us where, tells our Google Maps where we should, the directions or the route we should be taking on a drive, and all those kind of things are sort of, already been used. But the only thing I say is that AI still can't predict the future, still can't think critically and those sort of things. So what I hope is that AI allows more people to become knowledge workers and less people to be data enterers or data people that are just plugging, those sort of things. So I hope AI creates better jobs, better working environment, better experiences for people if used correctly. But I'm like Danny, I'm a little bit nervous with the race between Google and Microsoft for control of this sort of tech. But we'll see what plays out. But
yeah.
Interesting. Well, guys, that's it. That wraps